Good morning. I'd like to call the September 7th, 2021 bid board meeting to order. We have acknowledgement of a quorum. First item on the agenda is a financial report from Jess.
Approval of minutes.
Oh, approval of minutes. I'm just trying to get this done.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll go on to the finances.
All right. Here's a look at the financial report for as of August 30th. We didn't have a whole lot of changes from the previous month. The landscaping contract with Roots and Branches was submitted, and so that will be coming out of the encumbrance next month. Sort of moving forward, the larger expenses that we have coming are the remainder of the lights project with Steiner Electric, as well as the installation costs for holiday lights and Christmas lights in November. So last year that was approximately $6,000 for the installation. We're waiting on an estimate for this year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the survey.
Roof line upgrade.
Oh yeah, it is roof line lights. I have an update with that too.
Great.
When they did the building to the north of our building, they disconnected all the lights. So they don't work going south.
Going south from your building?
Yeah, so I went down to look at what the lights looked like, and they're all turned off.
Even yours?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And I see all the wires hanging from the building, so we'll have to talk to that building owner and get those turned back on.
I was going to say, they look really, I like the new lights, so.
That's what I'm hearing. I didn't get to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
Great. So Rob wasn't able to be here today, so he asked just to get general opinion on that test strip of lights on yours. I'll let him know about the lights on the south and see what's going on there. But he said if the board likes the demo strip, that they could proceed with finalizing the designs and RFP for the rest of the project.
How many people here saw them? I didn't know. Peggy, were you able to see them?
I saw.
3, the majority of those present, right?
No, it's only 50%. It's not a majority.
3? 1,
3?
2, 3.
I didn't see them.
Oh, you didn't see
No,
them?
I went to
Not-
see them and the power was out.
Oh.
On your own building as well? Okay,
Yeah,
because
so
I saw them when they were lit, and it was...
Everything south of Brazen Head where they disconnected the wires is off. So, I mean, I'm okay with saying, yeah, do it if you guys think it's okay, but I'm just telling you that if we want people to look at them, we need, and that's been, when did I go down there? Friday.
It's possible because there's some construction going on that building, so...
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. You can see where there was a,
Oh, yeah, they took that thing off the top of the building.
and that's when they disconnected it. So, I don't know how we want to proceed.
Well, I don't think it's a real big imperative that we make a decision on that even, this month, because it doesn't look like we're gonna be replacing them for a while until we get funding for it. I think we can push that down to the next meeting, or at least after
Yeah,
people get
I-
a chance to look at them.
I agree.
Motion to move it to the next, or, I'll move.
I
to
would
the-
move that we put it on next month's agenda.
Second.
Okay. We don't need a formal, we'll just say we're doing it. Okay. So yeah, if we can talk to them. If I see the contractor out there, I'll say something to him as well, because I've been talking to him, but if we can just get those turned back on. So now we'll get to the survey. I was so excited to see the survey results that I was jumping ahead of myself. So, some interesting things. Jess, do you want to talk about this, or anybody have questions? And some of what you're going to see in the operating plan was reflected in what we got in results here. So I think we got some really good information that came back. It'll be interesting to see where we go with the next phase with the owners and what their thoughts are on it, or the businesses, not the owners. This was the owners of the building. So I think it'll be interesting. The one that really kind of, I thought was kind of telling was where we should spend marketing dollars, which was tourism and visitors, recruit new business, retain existing, grants, and then lastly was to promote events. That was only 23% of the people thought that that's what should happen with bid dollars.
Mike, on that, I would say that the bid definitely isn't in the event promoting business. That's not anything that we should be doing. However, increasing tourism and visitors to the downtown could be supporting events, not promoting events. There's a difference there. So that's just something that, I think it's in the wording on that. And then I also wanted to ask on number 5, we're asking to put in an extra $1, but aren't we going to be getting quite a bit of new bid funding from the district?
No.
We're not?
We'll get
No,
are you thinking the TIF dollars for the redo of the Main Street?
Yeah, but are they not, they're going to be part of the bid, right?
No, that property, they are not part of the bid because they didn't ask to extend in. But also, there's only roughly 6,000 square feet of that would even be in the bid because that's the only part that's commercial.
Okay, all right, good,
So,
thank you.
And this question was just there as see what people think, if they were willing to raise the assessment up $1, which actually would take it back to what it was originally, when the bid was originally formed. Not saying that's what we're going to do. It was just to get a feeling of what people thought, what the building owners thought should happen. Any other comments or thoughts?
I actually have a question. Peggy brought up, the district being part of the bid, but there are some other businesses immediately adjacent to the current bid that would be good targets to be part of the bid. Can the bid boundaries be changed? And I guess
The
this might be
bid boundaries can be changed, and since I know Jess is really going through this with Barton, I don't know if you know, or Jay, if you can give us the answer of how we extend the bid. Do they have to ask to be in, or can we ask them to be in?
A majority, and I don't know the exact percentage here, but has to petition into it and want to be in the bid. It is a process, like anything, but they have to physically want to join the bid and petition into it as a group.
Are those businesses made aware of what the bid is? I mean, I know when I bought my building, nobody came to me and say, hey, did you know you're part of the bid? This is what it does, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I would have not known if I didn't know.
So potentially, I don't know, as to be honest. Some of them may know more about it than others. So we could discuss it with them, and at least so they're educated on what the bid is. But I'm sure that some of the recent developments by former Mayor Sedonico would know what the bid is. But we could at least educate, and if you wanted to explore that, we could do that.
Yeah, I just think that it's been consistent that the community doesn't really know what this organization does, which is why we're trying to get this word out and the surveys and all of that, so that people are aware that they have money sitting here that we want to spend, efficiently and effectively.
Totally.
Yeah, thank you.
But then the one thing that to keep in mind is if you were to extend the bid boundary, then you would need to include that area and other expenditures and holiday decorations and all those things, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Okay.
Great.
Outside of what was mentioned already, the item that jumped out at me was a topic we had, I think, a couple of meetings ago, but number 3, overall cleanliness of the downtown streets and sidewalks. We talked about garbage pickup. Maybe it resonated with me too after seeing Wheels on Main. And by 11 o'clock in the morning, most of those trash cans were overflowing with garbage already and things like that. And so I think that's one too that jumped out with, although it wasn't heavily rated, just the apprehensiveness of that probably indicates something, I think.
Can I have waste management, and they come, I know. So they're supposed to pick up on Wednesday mornings. So I put my garbage out Tuesday night before I leave for work. And for the last 2.5 months, it's been pushed off. I get an email on Wednesday saying we'll be there Thursday, then it's on Thursday, then it's on Friday. And I finally called and I said, do you want me just to put it out there on Friday? Would that help? I said, because we have a very beautiful downtown, and to have all these garbage cans sitting out there for 2-3 days at a time it's not cool. And he said they're trying, but they have a nationwide shortage of drivers and they can't. So even if I would push it to Friday, then that would push it till Monday. So I think part of this is that, because there's garbage bins sitting out for days at a time.
Yeah, we've experienced that. It was a month before they picked up.
Yeah.
So there are other options in the area. I'm seeing at other business, GYI out of Mayville or something. Seems to be percolating up around here.
Yeah, one of them just got bought up by somebody, I don't know who it is. But,
And it's not just that, so a couple of meetings ago, we talked about just the general overall cleanliness of activity day to day and things like that.
Yeah, the cigarette butts
Yeah,
and.
oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Dog feces, yeah.
78%.
anything else?
Just, it kind of surprised me that the majority of people think the wayfinding signs are adequate. I I thought that would be something people would be interested in, but it's just a comment, not a change anything.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised about that myself. I have that one up right now. That was an interesting. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll move on to the operating plan.
I would just comment on 8. I think that's great for the Downtown Association to know, is that downtown events that shut down the streets either are positive or doesn't bother really people compared to negative, which is good, because I know that for a long time there were some businesses that were not happy about that, but at least people are seeing that it's an opportunity to show off your business. So I think that that's great news for them.
That jumped out at me too. We may see a different response from the businesses when they do the survey.
Yeah, this is the building owners, not the businesses. So that's the next phase, is we need to now come up with a similar survey based off of this. If maybe you could work with Pokel and have something for the next meeting so we could send that out, that would be awesome.
Are there any questions in particular you're hoping to ask business owners that you wouldn't have asked property owners? Or primary differences between the two they're hoping to extract?
I guess one thing that came out in the comments is the disconnect between what the bid actually does and what people believe the bid does. People believe the bid puts on the farmer's market. They believe the bid puts on Music on Main. And that's not really what they do. So I heard in talking to some business owners that, well, they were concerned with the impacts of of events on downtown, you know, some positive, some negative. And, you know, we're getting tarred with that brush, so maybe it would be interesting to find out if the business owners really know what the bid does as opposed to what other organizations do relative to downtown.
And I think that kind of goes with what Peggy said, is people don't know what we do, and that's what we're trying to improve, that communication. So, yeah, if you could craft a question about, or questions of what people think or know about the bid, that would be awesome to get that information.
Sounds good. I can have a draft for our next meeting.
Anything else that anybody'd like to see? So the plan with this, just so it's out there, is once we get the next one back, then there was discussion of maybe having Polkel come and we do a meeting at the theater, or somebody come and do a presentation of what this all is and what the answers were so that everybody can see it. And I've already talked to the theater and they're more than happy to host it, so we just need to get the next phase and then we can kind of analyze the data and do a presentation to the masses. Okay, if there's nothing else on that, we'll move to the operating plan. So every year, the bid is required to submit an operating plan to the council. The council will then approve our budget. And if you go to page 39 of the packet, you'll see the proposed budget. Jess and Jay and I met and talked about what we felt the proposed budget should be. Keep in mind that these categories are very broad, and they're very broad on purpose, because if we get it too fine-tuned and we want to change what the money is used for, we have to go back to council for approval. So the categories are kind of broad in the sense that it gives us flexibility as the board to move the money around as we feel fit through the course of the year without going back to the council for approval. I know there's a couple people, new faces in the room. This technically isn't a public hearing, but I'm more than willing to let anybody come up and speak and talk or ask questions if they'd like. But real quickly, kind of as an overview of it, looking at the survey and the comment that was made on the business retention and grants, we put in a $15,000 budget to create a grant program, or basically bring the facade program back. What that exactly looks like, we don't know. We didn't get into that, but there was some thought of maybe we do up to 15 grants at $1,000 total each to do facade grants, and would have to be matching, similar to what the old facade grant program was. Based on the comments of marketing, we took money out of the marketing budget to put into the facade grant and cut the marketing down to $5,000. So we can still do some of that support, but it wouldn't be a full-fledged marketing plan that was put together for, like we did in 2020. Everything else pretty much stayed the same. The surety on the bridge is over. So we were able to take that money, or some of that money, put that into the historic district to get that up and going. And the rest of this we pretty much kept as it's been in the past 4 or 5 years.
There is one other area that increased slightly, and that's the landscaping and street cleaning. So that's also based on some of the comments in the surveys with the cleanliness. And some of the landscaping costs we anticipate going up a little bit for next year, particularly with Scott's. So that's that.
Anybody have questions?
Yeah, why is there 15 grand in the holiday decor? I mean, I thought we added everything.
That's to put up and take down.
That's what it costs to put everything up and take down. Wow.
And that might be a little light.
It's a little hot. Light?
Wow. Is this organization giving funding for the west side of the river at all?
We already did that, and that's out from.
That's out from this past
Previous
year?
years, yes.
Okay.
We did 125,000, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was 125,000 for the west side and 50,000 for the east
For
side.
the east side. I do like the facade grants. However, having been on that committee, I got to be honest. I don't think $1,000 is much. I mean, when we were looking at doing it, we were hoping to get some of the building owners to get the backs of their buildings so that the west side of the river, the back looked better, and we were matching like 5. Because it's $1,000 doesn't really get you much work, unfortunately.
No, I don't disagree with that. And I guess what we need to do, Peggy, is that committee that was created is citywide, because they moved it. If you remember right, when we took it over from EDC, or I say the city took it from EDC, they included Barton. We would have to create a new facade grant committee, or maybe take that old one and just only use bid people in it. And then they could decide how they want that 15,000 and just come back to us for final approval.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a project that's really worthwhile and, an extra $5 grand would really push it over the edge, that they would commit to doing it, that's what we need to be supporting those building owners and getting those backs looking nice for people.
Right. And this was planned for front or back.
Okay. Because I just don't like having 35,000 sitting in future projects that are unidentified.
So that is kind of identified in that it goes into the fund for Main Street.
Okay.
But again, we could, that by leaving this broad, if there was a project that came before the facade grant group, and the facade grant felt, hey, we really should give more, they could come to the board and say, hey, we would like an extra $5,000, and we could take from there and put it in. So that's the advantage of having some of this broad.
Okay.
Is the future projects money that we could, if we found something of merit to do this
Yes.
year, can that be pulled back and repurposed? Or does that require going to council to?
No, by doing it this way, it allows us to do that without going to council.
Okay. And the other thing, facade grants, back of a building's a facade as well, so.
Right.
So we're not limited to the part that faces a business parking lot. We
Right.
should be able to do either side.
Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is to determine the next transportation group meeting date. I guess I've been kind of waiting, because I know last time we met, there was conversation of bringing in engineering and that, and I don't know if they're ready. So if they're ready to meet with us, we're ready to meet with them. So I'll throw that back at Jay and let him find out the answer to that, and then we can set a meeting. So with that, any ideas on agenda items for the next meeting?
We already put the roof line into next meeting, so.
And we'll have the next draft of the survey on the next meeting agenda as well.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.